Hello. Today I'm going to show you how to treat cardboard with 3 different liquids that will protect it a little bit and add a little bit of texture, a little bit of maybe special effects. And the way we're going to protect the cardboard with these 3 liquids is with regular glue, Elmer's glue, white acrylic paint, the cheap stuff, you don't need the expensive stuff, and acrylic medium. This is gloss medium. This is a little more expensive, so obviously the glue is the cheapest, then the acrylic paint, and then the acrylic medium. The glue, what I do is I mix it about half water, half glue, so I am going to take this and quickly give it a mix. Just wanted to let you know that I did mix glue with water. So about half glue, half water. It makes a thick, thicker watery base. As you can see, it's a little bit thick. If you want it thicker, you can add more glue. So we'll start with that actually, because it probably takes the longest to dry, and I'm simply going to paint it on the cardboard. Of course, I'm gonna have to let it dry. This also helps when you're attaching paper to the cardboard. What do I mean by that? Well, sort of like giving it a texture well, I guess the texture depends on what you're doing, but the paper, if you put paper on top of this as it sticks, it gives it a little bit of texture and a little bit more strength. What kind of paper? It could be newspaper, notebook paper, any scrap paper, toilet paper, tissue paper, paper towel too. That's a little rougher. Anyway, I'm gonna let that one dry. That's the glue. I should have labeled it. So we'll label the next one as acrylic paint. It'll get covered though. And then the next one is acrylic medium. I'm gonna call it, yeah, I like to call it acrylic medium. It comes with different names, but that's the name that I was used to when I was a kid. Okay, and the acrylic paint, I'm just gonna drop paint on it. And by the way, I have a container of water here to rinse out the brushes. We don't want any of this stuff to dry out on your nice brushes. I gotta be careful here not to paint my table. I forgot to mask my table, so I'm being careful, so I'm not gonna go clear to the edge. If you're working on the edges of the cardboard, definitely cover those up too. Now it's a coat, so we want to kind of spread it so everything gets covered like that. If you're particular about the direction of the paint, then you go one way. If you want the texture, then you go in every single way. So I'm going to do a little bit of that too, and maybe apply it a little bit thicker in that spot, see what happens, or so you can see what happens. Alright, so we got a little bit of both, straight up and down paint, and then kind of paint it all over. And the last one, the acrylic medium, and that's clear. Oh, comes out pretty fast. So when you put that one on, it's probably the fastest drying one. That's why I left it last. Like I said, it's clear, as you can see. And unless you want texture, you go just clear up and down or side to side. If not, you can do that crazy application and go all over the place. I'll do a little bit of that too. And the last one will be a mix. I'm doing a mix so you can see that possibilities are endless. Mix. We could do a little bit of mix with water and glue, and acrylic medium and the paint. It's up to you. I don't want to use the glue because it's gonna take longer to dry, so in this case I'm gonna skip it, but it would dry all the same in the long run. So and they're all related, they're all water based. So a little bit of acrylic paint and a little bit of acrylic medium, so you can guess what's gonna happen. There's an amount of translucency. That means it's not totally gonna cover the cardboard with pigment. So a little bit of the cardboard will show up unless you keep giving it coat after coat after coat. But anyway, you might have also guessed acrylic medium and acrylic paint are related. They're basically the same thing, just one has white pigment and the other one doesn't. This one is, I know it's flat, I believe it's, well, maybe I have to read. Permanent acrylic paint, white, all-purpose. It doesn't say off the top of the, just reading the bottle. So I'm guessing it's flat. I know for sure that the acrylic medium is glossy. It may not dry as glossy because it may actually, the cardboard will soak it up and you may have to give it a second coat if you wanted it glossy. But for our purposes, I'm not giving it a second coat. So as we can see, we got the water and glue still drying, the acrylic paint still drying, the acrylic medium drier than, well, maybe that's pretty dry too, so they're about the same right now. And the last one, the mix. So when this is over, I'll show you what it looks like when it's dry.